Namaskaram Prabhuji, Mataji. Welcome to today's satsang. We are beginning our discussions on the Mandukya Upanishad. And the Mandukya Upanishad basically is a thorough description of Om, and alongside Om, a complete discussion on the levels of consciousness. Okay, so this is new material compared to what we completed in the Isha Upanishad. So in terms of source of creation and a closer look at sound, looking at today's material, I had a review of what we're going to discuss today. So we'll park this aside. We will thoroughly focus on the Mandukya Upanishad, levels of consciousness and Om, so that the lesson proper doesn't become too heavy, okay, and easier for you to grasp the material. So the focus today is Mandukya Upanishad, levels of consciousness and Om, and we will only look at the first verse, the invocation prayer, and then the first verse of the Mandukya Upanishad. And the invocation prayer, this is the invocation prayer. It is something most probably is new to you. So the Sanskrit is on the left, the English is on the right, translation, okay? The English translation is as close as possible to the Sanskrit. It's not perfect because when you take two languages and you try to translate, no translation can be perfect, but it's close enough. Okay, if you can say it sentence by sentence with me, okay? Om Sham No Mitraha. Together. Om
Shanmo Mitraha
Sham Varunaha.
Sham Varunaha
Sham No Bhavatvaryama.
Sham No Bhavatraya Namaha
Sham Bhavatravaryama
Sham No Indro Brahaspatihi.
Sham No Indro
Indro
Praspatihi
Brahaspati
Sham No Vishnururu Kramaha.
Sham
Sham
No
Vishnu Ramaha
Vishvarukrama Namaha
Namo Brahmane.
Namo Brahmane
Namo Brahmanye
Namaste Vayo.
Namaste
Namaste
Vayo
Vayo
Tvameva Pratyakaksham Brahmasmi.
Tvameva Praktasya
Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasmi
Brahmasi
Tvameva Pratyakaksham Brahma Vadishyami.
Tvameva
Tvameva
Pratyaksham
Pratyaksham
Brahma
Brahma
Vadishyami
Vishtishami
Ritam Vadishyami.
Rityam
Ritam
Vityashami
Vadishyami
Satyam Vadishyami.
Satyam Vitashami
Satyam Vadishyami
Tanmamavatu.
Tanmamavatu
Tanmamavatu
Tatvaktaramavatu.
Tattvattaramavatu
Tattvattaramavatu
Avatu Mam.
Avatu
Avatu
Mam
Mam
Avatu Vaktaram.
Avatu
Avatu
Vaktaram
Vaktaram
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om
Om Shanti
Shantihi
Shanti
Shantihi
Shanti.
Shantihi.
So what we are doing is we are asking the lordships and the devas to bless us in our journey to understand, to try to understand the Mandukya Upanishad. So before we just, this is not just a textbook you pick up and start reading. You need to seek the Bhagwan's blessings and also the Devta's blessings before we can start this journey. So basically here, may Mitra be blissful to us. Mitra is also another name for the sun. The sun has got many, many names. So basically the sun represents energy, okay? And it's a source of energy for planet Earth, for example. So may Mitra be blissful to us. May Varuna be blissful to us. Varuna is the deity for the oceans, okay? Then may Aryaman be blissful to us. Aryaman was specifically was the third son of Aditi and Keshapa Muni. Okay, and then may Indra, who is the Prime Minister of Heaven, and Brahaspati, who is the chief Deva, be blissful to us. May Vishnu with long strides. What does it mean Vishnu with long strides? It means Vishnu can reach anywhere he wants. So may Vishnu with long strides be blissful to us. Salutations to Brahman. Brahman is the pure consciousness. Salutations to you, O Vayu. Vayu is the god for the winds. You indeed are the immediate Brahman, which means all descriptions of Mitra, Varuna, Aryaman, Indra, Brahaspati, Vishnu, all salutations to Brahman, the pure consciousness. You indeed are the immediate Brahman. You alone I shall call the direct Brahman. I shall call you righteousness. I shall call you truth. May he, Bhagwan, protect me. May he protect the teacher, because the teacher is teaching you this information. So may Bhagwan protect you. May your teacher protect you. May he protect me. May he protect the teacher. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Okay, so that's the invocation mantra. So the introduction. There are only 12 verses. Isha Upanishad, we had 18 verses. Okay, the Mandukya Upanishad is the shortest Upanishad known to us. At the moment, there are approximately 108 Upanishads who are known to us, of which 11 are described the principle of the Upanishads which are most well known. Out of those 11, the Mandukya is the shortest Upanishad. Okay, you have become, over the course of the classes, you have become familiar with the Kena Upanishad, with the Katha Upanishad, the Taittiriya Upanishad, which will reveal to you the Pancha Kosha, for example. Then you got very familiar from start to end with the Isha Upanishad, and now we are doing the Mandukya Upanishad. So you can very happily say to yourself that you know quite a bit about the principal Upanishads. So in this Upanishad, where is it found? It is found at the end of the Atharva Veda. There are 4 Vedas, as you know, the Rig, Sama, Yagur, and Atharva Veda. So this is at the end of the Atharva Veda. What does it do? It expounds or it explains the qualities of Om, the 3 states of consciousness, which are known as the waking. Right now, all of us say we are wide awake. I hope so. Nobody's nodding away. Dreaming. Maybe somebody's dreaming now. I hope not. And deep sleep. So the Sanskrit translations are Jagrati, when you are wide awake. Dreaming, Swapna. Deep sleep is Shushupti. And then there's an underlying 4th state known as the Turiya. What is this Turiya? Every night when we go to sleep, initially we are trying to sleep, and then the sleep comes. And then when the sleep comes, we start having dreams. So some of the part of the sleep, maybe we're sleeping for 8 hours, we go through few cycles of sleep. The sleep cycle can vary between 45 minutes to 1.5 hours. So we will go into the dream state. Okay, that's Swapna. So you'll be dreaming, you're doing this and doing that, all the other things, many things you are doing in a dream. Then you will have a deep sleep state where there are no dreams. Okay, and that's the most restful period of your sleep, is the dreamless state. The dreamless state is known as the Shushupti. And then the Turiya is the awareness that you went through all those stages of sleep, that you were first trying to sleep, and then you fell asleep and had dreams, and then you had a period where you had no dreams. What is that ability to remember all the 3 stages? That is known as the Turiya, the underlying 4th state of illumination. Okay, known as the Turiya. So the 4 stages are Jagrati, Swapna, Shushupti, Turiya. 4 stages. So Jagrati, Swapna, and Shushupti correspond to the Traya Sharira. You know your Sthula Sharira, Shukshma Sharira, and Karana Sharira, your three bodies, Traya Sharira. So Jagrati, the state of being awake, corresponds to the Sthula Sharira, or the gross body. So this gross body, I have arms, I have eyebrows, still have a bit of hair on my head. This is the gross body. So this is corresponding to the Jagrati, the Sthula Sharira. The Swapna state, the dream state, corresponds to the Shukshma Sharira, the dreaming state of mind. And then the deep sleep state, where you have no dreams, it corresponds to the Karana Sharira, dreamless state. And then the Turiya is the underlying, the awareness that you went through everything. That is the underlying pure consciousness. It is the background that underlies and transcends the three common, makes you aware of all the different states of consciousness. For example, while I'm speaking to you, you might start daydreaming. But what is that awareness that gives you the ability to realize that you are daydreaming? It is Turiya. Okay? And then if you fall asleep and you start snoring and then you don't have any dreams, then you suddenly jerk and you wake up. What is that ability to give you memory that you actually fell asleep? Of course, you wouldn't have heard yourself snoring, but you realize that you fell asleep. Turiya, the underlying state of consciousness. Okay? So, Jagrati relies on the body, the senses and the mind. So when we are awake, we need our five senses to be working. We must be able to hear, we must be able to see, smell, etc., feel. For example, if your AC is on, you can feel the nice cool breeze blowing. So all this is during Jagrati. And Jagrati has subjective interpretations. What does it mean? Based on our experiences in life, we would have different interpretations of the experiences that we have during the day and all our previous days that we have been around. So we will interpret things in a certain way. So that is part of being in Jagrati, subjective interpretations. Jagrati exists as long as a person is alive, because your senses need to work. And if your Atman leaves the body, Jagrati doesn't exist. So it exists only as the person is alive. During Jagrati, it is possible that you make mistakes. You make mistakes not intentionally. Today I was in a restaurant and I accidentally tipped a small glass of water and the water spilled on the table and then it fell on the floor. It wasn't intentionally. I made a mistake and I apologized to the waiter, and then I quickly took some tissue as well and wiped the table as much as I could. And then I asked the waiter to please bring a mop because the water was on the floor and somebody might slip on the floor. So it was an error. It's a mistake I made during the stage of Jagrati. And errors are also possible due to ignorance, not intentional, okay? Due to ignorance, you don't know any better, and then you made a mistake. And you are fully conscious. You know that like for example, I remember that I tipped that glass of water and the water fell on the table and fell on the floor. So I am conscious, I know that happened. So that is all this stage of Jagrati. Swapna does not rely on our senses. We don't need to hear something to have a dream. We don't need our eyes to be open to see that Technicolor movie we are acting in the dream. The Technicolor is full blast. Okay, widescreen. We will be seeing that movie in our dreams widescreen. Okay, without our eyes, and we will be talking to people and listening without using our physical ears. Okay, but even in our dreams, we are subject to interpretations of the mind and experiences we have had before. So it is again during Swapana, it's subjective. Okay. And we will have a short dream. The dream might last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but we think it's a long time because we are doing so many things in the dream. but it's a short period. Okay, so they call them fleeting experiences, temporary experiences. And in the dreams also, we might dream that we made some mistakes. We did something wrong. Okay, but the difference between Jagrati and Swapna, person here does not rely on the senses, and the person is not conscious. He's basically sleeping. He's knocked out, he's having dreams. Okay, so Jagrati and Swapna, there's some similarities, yet there are also differences. So Jagrati could be interpreted as a prolonged Swapna. Think about it. We have the dream for 15 minutes. We are Jagrati for maybe 100 years. Out of the 100 years, let's say you sleep 7 hours a night. Okay, so a good portion, maybe 1/4 of your life, you are sleeping. So if you live for 100 years, 25 years is in Swapna, 75 years Jagrati. So Jagrati could be interpreted as prolonged Swapna. Okay, because if you take time as a continuum, we only exist for 100 years. The planet Earth has been around for a few billion years. So what is that 100 years compared to a few billion years that the world has been around? It's Swapna, short dream. So Jagrati could be interpreted in that sense as the prolonged Swapna filled with subjective interpretations, with errors being possible. Shushupti, deep sleep, also does not rely on the body or the senses, because you are now in a dreamless state. And because you are in a dreamless state, you are not subject to making interpretations. You have no dreams, nothing. The mind is completely blank. Okay? But when we wake up from the Shushupti, we can remember that we went through a period of Shushupti. And because that is the most restful period during our sleep cycle, we feel invigorated. We feel very nice when we wake up because we went through this period of deep sleep, no dreams. And because you are not dreaming, there are no errors that you can make because nothing happened. It was a blank screen. Nobody turned on the television. The Netflix was switched off. Blank screen. No errors. And the person is not conscious. Okay? So in Swapna, you're not conscious. In Shushupti, you're not conscious. In Shushupti, there is no subjective interpretations. In Swapna, there are subjective interpretations based on your life experiences. It is your life experiences that generate your dreams. Okay. And the underlying principle of Turiya. You remember everything. I fell asleep. I had some dreams. You might not remember all your dreams, but you remember, yes, I dreamt for a period of time. And I also had a period of time where I didn't have any dreams. So that recollection that I went through this period, the underlying principle of consciousness is Turiya. And in Turiya, of course, there are no errors as well. And you're conscious. You're conscious of the fact that you went through those 3 periods of Jagrati, Swapna, and Shushupti. So now, you are very familiar with these phrases, Jagrati, Swapna, Shushupti, Turiya. Let's do a few questions before we proceed, okay? What are the 3 states of consciousness mentioned in the Mandukya Upanishad?
So, walking, dreaming, and deep sleep. The
Very
first
good.
one.
Very good. Waking, dreaming, and deep sleep, okay? So the Mandukya Upanishad identifies 3 primary states of consciousness: waking, Jagrati; dreaming, Swapna; deep sleep, Sushupti. So these 3 states are foundational in understanding the nature of reality and consciousness. So good. What is the significance of the 4th state, Turiya?
Is it the second one? It underlines and transcends the 3 common states of consciousness.
Very good, Mataji. Haribol. It is absolutely correct. Turiya is definitely not a physical body because it's consciousness. It cannot represent pure desire because you had no dream, nothing. You basically recollection of what you went through. So this doesn't represent pure desire. And it only refers to deep sleep state, which is in a wrong answer because deep sleep is basically Shushupti. Okay. So Turiya is considered the pure underlying consciousness that transcends the other three states, waking, sleeping, and deep sleep. It signifies a deeper spiritual awareness. Okay. So now we look at the symbology of Om. The bottom left here, you can follow the cursor. Can you see the cursor on your screen? I'm
Yes,
using
sir.
the cursor. You can see it? Good. So this portion, the bottom left, is referring to Jagrati, wakefulness. I put here number 1. Number 2 is on the right-hand side. Okay, this oval shape here is the Swapana, dreaming state, Swapana. Then the top portion here on the left is the deep sleep, Shushupti. And this asterisk, okay, the curve, that is your Turiya, the underlying consciousness. Okay, so you have Jagrati, Swapna, Shushupti, Turiya, all in the Om. How about the dot? We are coming to that very soon. What is the representation of the dot? Okay, but for now, remember the bottom left, Jagrati, the right hand side, Swapna, the top part, Shushupti, and then the asterisk underlying, that is the Turiya. A bit more information on this, on Jagrati. It also represents, if you pronounce Om, you can break it up as Aum. So the Ah in the beginning, okay, of course, you don't pronounce Om as Aum, but if you stretch it out, basically there's an sound in the beginning, Aum, but Om, okay? So that A, the beginning, is known as the Akara, or the beginning, and the beginning is represented by Kriya Shakti, action. The power of action is Kriya Shakti. It requires you to, because you want to carry out actions, it requires you to be alert. And it relies, and to be alert, you need to rely on your external stimulus. So you need your senses to be fully aware of what's going on around you. And to do that, you need your Sthula Sharira. So all that is represented in the Akara or the Jagrati portion of the Om. It's the beginning. It is full of action, Kriya Shakti. It requires you to be alert and relies on external stimuli. Now we go to the bottom right, Ukara. So the middle part is the U. Ukara is the link. They call it the link. It requires knowledge, Jnana Shakti. It is a dream state, but luminous. Why is it called dream state by luminous? Because in your dream, you are having full technicolor dreams. So, and there's also light. Although your eyes are shut, you can see your dreams very beautifully, as though there's a light shining inside your head. Okay? So that is called the luminosity, the luminous, which is called Taijasa. Okay? The luminous portion of your dreams, the dream state, the stimuli projected, the sensations that you get in your dream comes from your previous experiences that you went through in your life. You might be meeting people you've never met before in your dreams, but the dreams are basically a generation of things that you are going through or you have gone through before. They generate your own dreams, okay? And this requires the power of knowledge, Jnana Shakti, and it is luminous, and it is the link between your action and finally the portion, the makara, the removal. Okay. So first is the Kriya Shakti, power of action, then power of knowledge, Jnana Shakti, and here you have Icha Shakti, basically desires, the power of desire. So basically, Makara, okay, Ukara is preservation. If you want to say Akara is the beginning, Ukara is the link because it's preservation. First you have creation, then you have preservation, and then you have removal. So that is why it is also called the link between creation and removal. Okay? And removal not necessarily means death. It can also be meaning removal of unwanted tendencies, unwanted habits, bad habits. So you want to get rid, you want to remove them. Okay? So you must have the desire. I must have the desire to remove my bad habits, my bad thoughts. So you can also have a desire to have bad thoughts. Then that the thing goes upside down then. But for those of us who are pursuing spiritual advancements or spiritual knowledge, we want to improve ourselves. So it needs desire. We need to have the desire to improve ourselves. So that is the Icha Shakti. And through this Icha Shakti, we can then remove and renew, regenerate ourselves. Okay? And this regeneration, remember in deep sleep, it is the best portion of your sleep. Remember, deep sleep is the best portion, most restful period. Why is most restful period? Because you are rejuvenating, renewing yourself. Your body cells, your muscles, and everything are resting very well. There is no external stimuli. Okay, there is dormant self-stimuli only. And finally, we go to Turiya. The Lord is the original cause, Karana. Karana is cause. Remember, Karan, the previous class we did, what is the definition of Karya? Karya Karana Sambandha is the definition of karma. So Karana is the cause and Karya is the effect. So cause-effect relationship. So that cause, the original cause, comes from the Lord, the original cause. It is represented by nada. Nada is also the initial vibration. Okay? The initial vibration. And an initial vibration caused a sound that is unmanifested. It is still in a vibration form. It hasn't become audible yet. It is still in vibration form. Okay? So that is represented by the asterisk portion in the Om, and it is also represented by vibration, which hasn't caused sound yet. That is why it is called sound that is unmanifested. His counterpart, the counterpart to nada is bindu, the dot, represented the point where Shakti springs out. Up to here, up to the nada, is basically Shiva, not Shakti yet. It's still Shiva. Shiva means pure consciousness. Okay? Yes, it is represented by Lord Shiva himself. But Shiva here means the pure consciousness represented by nada, which is the cause. Okay? The effect is the bindu, the dot, the point where Shakti springs out. And when Shakti springs out, creation starts. Creation starts in this material universe. And this creation, when the Lord, when the bindu basically explodes and becomes creation, now the Lord, just represented by consciousness, pure consciousness, now becomes the Lord with attributes, which means we say that the Lord has a form. He has come with a conch, a disc, a mace, a discus. Okay? All these things, the Lord with the attributes. We go through a few questions and then we consolidate. I know all this may be a bit difficult to understand. Akara, ukara, makara, nada, bindu, all this may be new to you, and you said, I think I want to go and sleep. I don't want to listen to this class anymore. Don't worry, we just do a few more questions and then we consolidate. Which of the following is associated with Kriya Shakti as per the Mandukya Upanishad? Remember, it starts with Kriya Shakti, then Yana Shakti, then it will be Icha Shakti. So what is the Kriya Shakti is represented by which part?
Power of action.
Power action. Very good. And it's represented by the A portion. Aum, A,
A.
Akara.
A.
Akara is the power of action and represented by Jagrati. It is only in a Jagrati state that we can be active. We can use our Sthula Sharira and be very active. Okay. So Kriya Shakti refers to the power of action. It's related to the waking state, Jagrati, where external stimuli are involved. And the next one. In the Mandukya Upanishad, the syllable represents which aspect of consciousness?
Beginning.
Beginning
In action.
Haribol Mataji, very good, very good. Okay, you have a very good grasp of this information. It's fantastic. So beginning of action, akara. So the syllable A in Om signifies the beginning associated with action, Kriya Shakti, and the waking state. Why is Swapna, the dream state, said to not rely on body or senses? Okay, the hint. When you
It's not,
dream,
so it's not deep meditation because deep is
yeah,
it's not that. Physical, it's not there because you're sleeping. So
correct.
it's not C. Based on subjective interpretations of experiences. The second one, I think, because whatever you're experienced in when you're awake, you're seeing that.
Very good. Because remember, your dreams are a creation of your own experiences. Okay, it's not other people's experience. Why no two people can have the same dream? Why? Because it's the generation of your own experiences. And everybody's experiences in the world is unique. Whether it's twin brothers or twin sisters, identical twins, doesn't matter. Your dreams are unique to yourself because you have your own experiences. Okay, so it is based on subjective interpretation experiences. Swapna does not depend on the physical body or senses, but rather on the mind's interpretation on past experiences, making it a subjective state. Which state is described as having no errors, yet being conscious in the Mandukya Upanishad?
The last one.
The Turiya.
Very
Turiya.
good. Very good, Prabhuji. Okay. Turiya, you are conscious. Why? Because you can remember. You can remember your swapna, you can remember your shushupti, you can remember your jagrati. So it's Turiya. Fantastic. Turiya is a state of pure consciousness. No errors are made. Because you are just a shakshi. You're a witness to everything that is happening. That is Turiya. It symbolizes a complete and conscious awareness beyond the other three states. So now we look at this verse in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 69. So we'll say it sentence by sentence, okay? Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam. Together?
Ya Nisha Sarva
Bhutana.
Tasyam Jagarti Sanyami.
Tasyam Jagrati
Sanyami.
Samyami.
Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani.
Yasyam
Jagrati
Jagrati
Bhutani.
Bhutani.
Shanisha Pashyato Munihi.
Shanisha
Shanisha
Pashyato
Paschito
Munahi.
Muhi.
Prabhuji, can you please read the English translation?
what is night for all being? All being is the time of awaking for the self-control, and the time of awaking for all beings is night for the introspective sage.
Okay. Initially, when you read it, you say, what is this talking about? I don't understand. But you think about it. When people are gossiping, and let's say they're talking politics or they're talking cricket or they're talking some, hot news, the person who is an introspective person, who is contemplating, he doesn't engage in such conversation. He just listens because he says, this is temporary. It's a waste of time. So I don't want to engage in this conversation. So for him, such conversation is night. But for those who love talking gossip, okay, or talking about things which are not important in the bigger scheme of things, they are very happy to talk about such things, and then they consider the person who's very quiet, who has got no comments, to be a silly person. So he says, why doesn't he get involved in this conversation? Why is he so quiet? What's wrong with him? Okay, so for such a person, the people who love to gossip and talk about all these things, temporary things, they think that the person who is quiet is asleep. But the person who is quiet thinks that those people are asleep because they're talking about unimportant things. Okay, now we take a time that you go to bed. Some people, especially on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, for them, the young people, for example, many younger generation, they will tell you the night begins at 10 o'clock because they want to go out at 10 o'clock at night and they want to come back at 5 o'clock in the morning because night begins at 10 o'clock. Yet, for the person who is an introspective person who does a lot of contemplation, he says, night, 10 o'clock is time for me to go to bed. 5 o'clock in the morning is time for me to wake up because I want to do my sadhana. So now when you read this, what is night for all beings here means the people in general. It's the time of awakening for the self-control. Because the person is self-controlled, he knows when to switch off his senses and when to switch them on. So when it is not conducive, it is night for him. And when it is conducive, it is day for him. Okay? But the average people will not do that. They want to get involved in all sorts of things because they think being very active every day is the best thing around. Sleeping late is very good. Waking up late is also very good. Things like that. Okay, so that gives you a better understanding of this verse. And then we also understand what is the true meaning of Jagrati. Okay, it is just not just being physically awake and active. Okay. So now we relate this to Bhagavad Gita chapter 15. There is a verse there talking about the banyan tree. So in chapter 15, it describes as an eternal tree with its roots above and the branches below. The leaves are the Vedic hymns, and the one who knows the secret of this tree is the knower of the Vedas. So, a very strong statement. The knower of this tree, the secret tree, is the knower of the Vedas. So, this is an upside down tree, the branches going upwards. Okay. So, our wakefulness, the recommendation in the Mandukya Upanishad, what is the wakefulness we should focus on? We have to be inwardly awake, which means our roots shouldn't be going down to planet Earth, because planet Earth represents being deeper and deeper involved in the material world. Our roots should be going upwards. So Jagrati, being inwardly awake. Shushupti, which means I should be fast asleep without any dreams, when it comes to unwanted or unneeded material engagements. And when we shut down the unwanted material engagements, we become invigorated. Just like having shushupti when you go and sleep, you feel invigorated. Okay? A bit more on the banyan tree. So the entanglement of this material world is compared here to a banyan tree. For one who is engaged in fruitive activities, which is they keep on, I want to do this because I want to get that, and I want to get that, and then after that I want to get some more, blah, 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 blah. There is no end to the banyan tree. Such a person goes from one branch of the banyan tree to another branch, looking for new and more and more. Why is he going from branch to branch? There are new fruits. There are different types of fruits that I can pluck and I can eat and can enjoy. So they go from one branch to another. So this tree of the material world, is there an end to it? There's no end. So they keep on going from branch to branch to branch to branch, satisfying their material desires. And for one who's attached to the tree, there is no possibility of liberation because their roots should be going upwards. Okay. The Vedic hymns, what are these Vedic hymns? They are meant for elevating ourselves. For example, when we sing the mantras, we say our arti. What is the purpose? To elevate ourselves spiritually. They are called the leaves of the tree. But if we misuse those leaves and then they say, oh, I want to pray because I want to get more and more and more material benefits, then what happens? We are using those same hymns but becoming even more entangled. So the tree's roots, again, for emphasis, why do they grow upwards? Because they begin where the Lord Brahma is located, the topmost planet of the universe. And if we can understand this indestructible tree of illusion, we can get out of it. If you understand the material universe that you are in, you can now begin to get out of it. If you don't understand the material universe you are in, how do you get out? So all this is basically an better understanding of giving us a pathway to leave. So now we come back to Om. Om helps us to link our entire consciousness from wakefulness, material wakefulness, and spiritual wakefulness. Okay, the Jagrati has got two meanings here now, not just one anymore. Being spiritually awake and physically awake. Okay, so from wakefulness to deep sleep to the supreme. So from Jagrati, Swapna, Shushupti to Nada Bindu to the supreme, Turiya. Now, this Bindu is like a pebble of water dropping in the lake. When you drop a pebble of water in a lake, it creates waves which go outwards, okay, continuously in that lake. That is how creation was started. The nada, the underlying cause, karana, caused the bindu. The bindu exploded. The Big Bang Theory, you want to call it. Okay, the Westerners call it Big Bang Theory. Our Vedic scriptures call it nada bindu. Bindu caused creation, like a pebble of water dropping in the water. And then that creation is called prapancha. You may have heard the word before. Prapancha. Why is it called prapancha? A creation with 5 elements. Pancha. A creation with 5 elements. Earth, water, fire, air, space. Prapancha. So Bindu is the source of prapancha, creation. So the Mandukya Upanishad opens by declaring Om. This syllable is the whole world. That's what it tells us. The discussion is built around the structure of the 4 fourths. Basically, we'll be doing those verses in the next class, but we'll do the first verse today. And it describes Aum. Okay? Aum and the silence or without an element. Om will also be described as all states of time, which means Om describes the past, the present, the future, and underlying everything. So in verse 1, which we're going to do now, the Upanishad states that time is threefold, past, present, and future. And these 3 together are Om. Why? Because time is light. Time is light when it is collapsed in one. When you take past, present, and future and you compress it, it becomes light. The 4th which transcends time, which means it's beyond time, that is also Om expressed. It can also be linked to your breath. I won't spend too much time on it. You have the slide. It is completely related to your breath. That is why pranayama is so important. Inhalation is your Kriya Shakti. Okay, Puraka, inhalation. Your retention of your breath, Antara Kumbhaka, is your power of knowledge, Jnana Shakti. Your exhalation, full exhalation, Rechaka, is your renewal because you're getting rid of the unwanted carbon dioxide in your system. You're getting your lungs ready for the oxygen to come back in. Okay? So it's a renewal, power of desire, Rechaka. Then there is a silence between your breath. That underlying silence is the Bahya Kumbhaka, also known as the Shunya Kumbhaka, which is represented by Nada, Turiya. Nada Bindu is basically your Turiya. Okay? So completely related to your breath. So pranayama is basically rejuvenation of your physical body, but it also completely linked to your spiritual body. So this is the first verse of the Mandukya Upanishad. Let's try our best to pronounce it because it's not easy to pronounce. Let's say it together. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Om iti etadaksharam.
Om
Iti
Daksharam
Aksharam
Idam sarvam tasyopavyakhyanam.
Idam Sarvam Tasvo
Tasyopakyanam
Vakyanam
Bhutam bhavad bhavishyat iti.
Bhutam
Bhavishyat
Bhavishyat Iti
Sarva munkara eva.
Sarvaram
Sarvamonikara
Munkara
eva
Eva
Yachanyat trikalititam.
Yachanyat
Trikalitam
Trikalititam
Tat api onkara eva.
Tat Api
Tat
Omkara
Kara
Eva.
eva.
So what it is saying is Hari Om. Om, the word, is all this because Om describes creation, preservation, renewal, the underlying source, cause, and effect. All this, it is described by Om. Om, all that is past, present, and future is Om. That is beyond the triple conception of life, of time. Even beyond time is also Om. Because when you collapse present, past, and future, it becomes light. Okay? And light then is beyond time. That is also Om. So that is the description. So all different objects that we see around us are identified by names. So for example, all of us in this class, we have a unique name. In Madhyama and Vaikari, we will go deeper in the next class, Madhyama and Vaikari is basically audible sound and remembered sound in our heads. Names can differ and they can bring different interpretations. For example, a person might be called Kumar, and Kumar might be known to be a very forgetful person. So when you said, is it Kumar you're talking about? Straight away, you have an interpretation of Kumar as a forgetful person. Then you have another person whose name is Meenakshi. And Meenakshi loves to buy expensive handbags. So now when you say, Meenakshi, oh, you mean the one who likes to buy expensive handbags. So you have a different interpretation based on the names. And that it relies on your vocal speech and the thoughts of that person. In Para and Pashanti, which is basically pure, the source or the original sound, and Pashanti, which is visualization, The source of transmission is light, because Pashanti is things that you remember in your thoughts and you start generating images. That is Pashanti. That is light. So imagery, names, and objects are identical. Don't worry, don't get too confused. We will do more of this next week. Just be exposed to these words called Para, Pashanti, Madhyama, Vaikari. So when you know these stages of sound, if you want to call it, the highest Brahman is known through Om alone, because Om also describes Para, Pashanti, Madhyama, and Vaikari. Not only does it describe Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti, and what's the third Shakti? Kriya, Jnana, and can you recall? Okay, it's been a long class. I'll share it with you, okay? Here, Icha Shakti. You must have a desire to renew yourself. That's the easy way to remember. Okay, so all the Shaktis are there. So now we go back to where we were on that slide just now. So known this way, when we know all the Shaktis, the three Shaktis, not all the Shaktis, but these three Shaktis put together, we understand sound, we understand the relationship between Ahara, Uhara, Makara, Nada, Bindu, source of creation, Prapancha, all this is within Om. Okay? So we'll do some final review questions. What distinguishes Turiya from other states of consciousness?
So, it is a state of pure silence and
Correct.
transcendence.
Transcendence means going beyond material, the material universe. Okay, that's Turiya. Very good. So it is a pure silence and transcendence. Turiya is considered the fourth state of consciousness, transcending waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. It represents pure, undifferentiated awareness. So in Para, you don't differentiate between Kumar or Minakshi or this person and that person. You don't differentiate. Everybody is an Atman. Everybody has got Brahman consciousness within that person. So you have undifferentiated awareness. Which state is described as knowing neither inner nor outer, or characterized by deep restfulness?
Deep sleep.
Deep sleep, very good, Shushupti. Okay. In deep sleep, there's no distinction between inner and outer awareness. You don't even know you're sleeping. You're in such deep sleep, you don't even realize you're sleeping. So it is characterized by restfulness without mental activities such as desires or dreams. Okay. So remember, if you can remember Pashanti, use this image. Try to remember this over the next 2 weeks before our next class. Any questions, please? Okay. Good. So this is our good beginning journey in Mandukya Upanishad. And let's just say a short prayer before we call this the evening, okay? Govindeti Sadasnanam. Together.
Govindeti
Govindeti
sada
sada
snanam.
snanam.
Govindeti Sada Japam.
Govindeti sada
Govindeti sada
japam.
japam.
Govindeti Sada Dhyanam.
Govindeti
Govindeti sada
sada
dhyanam.
dhyanam.
Sada Govinda Kirtanam.
Sada
Sada
Govinda
govinda
kirtanam.
kirtanam.
Okay, Prabhuji Mataji, thank you so much for being in today's class. Let's do the Guru Vandana. Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha.
Om Shri
Om Shri Gurubhyo
Guru
Namaha.
Namaha.
Om Namo Bhagavate Brahmanandaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Brahmanandaya.
Brahmanandaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Shivanandaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Shivanandaya.
Shivanandaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
So Prabhuji, Mataji, thank you for being in today's class. If you have no more questions, I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Jai Shri Krishna. Om Namah Shivaya.
Jai Shri
Jai
Krishna.
Shri
Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.